Hi travelers, Tara here, and I'm coming to you with an open reading for January 16th, 2018. I can't believe we're already in the middle of the month of January. We have an eclipse, a lunar eclipse, a full moon lunar eclipse coming up on the 31st. And eclipses are always game changers. And we tell people to if anything crops up around that time, not to make any decisions at least 3 days before, 3 days after, particularly on a full moon lunar eclipse, any eclipse really. But the reason why we say that is because typically there's something obscured that you can't see. Okay. In April, we're going to have Uranus moving into Taurus. That's going to be a big deal. And so I'm in preparation right now, writing an article about that to be posted up for the website members. Also, website members, when you log in and go to the member content area, there's some links there for you for discounted products because you are members. So I'm going to be adding some more links there so that you yourself, I'll have to create some new pages, and so that you guys can get discounts off just for being members. Okay. For those of you who are not members, you can either come in and just purchase a product, or you can choose to purchase a membership. There are 3 levels. There is the $7 for 30 days. There is the recurring 6-month membership for $28, I'm sorry. And then there is the yearly membership recurring for $50. There are all kinds of articles. You get 2 birth charts. You get to learn some astrology, and you also get discounted products off. So right now, members, I am running, there's a link if you haven't had a chance to log in. This week until Friday, I'm offering you a discount off on a 30-minute reading. You can find that link to the reading in the members area when you log in. Okay. For the public, I'm going to be offering a reading special starting on Friday. So you can click on the little eye here in the right hand corner. Well, I'm not sure. Hold on. Yeah, I think I will be offering you a membership, a discount off on a reading. I'm trying to think all of the stuff that I'm trying to do. So you can simply click on the eye right here in the right hand corner, and that will take you directly over to the website. So with that being said, I've already done a bit of meditation and shuffling of the cards. I am using today the Rider-Waite, the Radiant White deck. And the only difference between the Rider-Waite and the Radiant White is that one is colored more vividly. That's the only difference. So it's like the Universal Tarot, okay? And I have the La Vida Sibilas and also the Indivinas, and of course we will be closing the reading out with an angel answer card. So let's go ahead and lay 9 cards. Page of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, and the Moon card. Well, isn't that interesting? And I honestly feel we have a new moon coming up in a few days, and I don't know where that new moon is, what sign it's in. Let me take a look here right quick on my. Actually, the new moon is today, and it's in the sign of Capricorn. Quite interesting. What does Capricorn rule? Capricorn rules the 10th house of your natal chart. It rules your highest ambition. For some, that could be being a parent, getting that corner office, your charity work. Everybody has a different idea of what success is and what that means to them. And the 10th house represents that energy because it's ruled by Saturn. We know that Saturn just moved into its ruling sign of Capricorn. And Saturn is about rolling up your sleeves, doing the heavy lifting, and doing the hard work so that you can build a solid structure. I think this is very, very important because in April, when Uranus goes into the sign of Taurus, That's going to be a big deal. I can't stress that enough. It's going to be a very, very big deal for the world financial markets. And as I keep telling you, and that's why I think it's important that for those of you who are already website memberships, that you purchase a transit tutorial, because that can give you an idea of how you might be affected personally on a financial level. And if not on a personal finance, because Taurus rules your personal finances. So say, for instance, you have Scorpio on the second house instead of Taurus. Scorpio rules partnership, resources that you share in partnership with people. When Uranus comes in, he brings sudden changes. So this could be a great windfall or a sudden loss. It could be your finances not being stable. It could be fluctuations. And what happens on a global scale will eventually affect you on a personal scale. Even if it happens, you may think that something going on in China will not affect you, but it does. Eventually, you will be affected in some way, shape, or form. And if not you personally, then someone that you know through perhaps 6 degrees of separation, someone will be affected. That's the way I read the astrology. I'm not looking at it necessarily from what it is that you need to be working on. I try to give you information the way I do the astrology. I'm trying to give you real world information so that you can make the best decisions that you can make for yourself. Okay? So this Page of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, and the Moon card tells me that something is either being activated today, and it may play out into the full moon lunar eclipse coming up on January 31st. Let's get the rest of the cards down. Here's the Hermit. 2 pages, Page of Wands. Yes, there's Jupiter, it's Sagittarius card. Now, we know that Saturn has just left Sagittarius, but we still have a bunch of, let me see what transits, what bodies are sitting in, and if you've got your natal chart, particularly with the asteroids in it, this would be a good time to check to see. I think I've already posted the transit watch, so check that to see what it is you need to see in that. Let me see. Is that solar sign? That's Coke. Let me change so I want to look at the 0 Aries chart to see exactly what's happening. So we've had Vesta move into the sign of Sagittarius. Vesta is the asteroid of gender politics. One man in control over 2 or more women. This could be a boss. This could be a man who's the head of a family that has all females. Or this could be one male who's juggling 2 females. And in the gender politics, the 2 females fight each other for his attention and his approval, right? Okay. Then we also, Saturn has just moved. It's still, it has moved 3 degrees into Capricorn. So there's still some influence there. And Saturn moves very, very slowly. It takes 2 years for it to make a complete transit through one sign. So for the past 2 years, it's been in Sagittarius. It has now moved into its ruling sign of Capricorn. We also have, is that, I want to say that is Apollo. I can never tell. Hold on one second. There's 2 glyphs that look the same in this stupid app, and so I can't ever tell which one is which. They look exactly the same. Right, there's Cupido. Cupido is also in Sagittarius, and Cupido represents that sudden passion or that sudden love or that sudden attraction for something. But also, you have to be careful with Cupido energy, because the myth is that his arrows don't wound very deeply. There was a huge transit of Cupido, I forget in what sign, back in the 80s when AIDS became a real problem. And that can be throwing common sense to the wind because you're highly attracted to something. Okay? So it can be dangerous. It can lead to things that may not be in your best interest. Let's put the rest of the cards down. 4 of Swords. There's the Saturn card. And here is a King of Cups. Well, so I have an air sign queen and a water sign king. Now, granted, same-sex or heterosexual, and just on a personal level, we all have the ability to embody both our masculine and feminine energies. Okay? I do sense that this, however, is two people. I feel for some of you that this water sign king, again, male or female, I'm sorry, same-sex or heterosexual, whomever's going to take the role of the male, whomever's going to take the role of the female. I feel in one sense that this person has not yet presented themselves. There is a distance here. This Hermit card, the Moon and the Hermit card. Now, what does the Hermit represent? The Hermit represents the sign of Virgo. And Virgo is about work, service, and duty to others, but also work, service, and duty to yourself. It is about the mind, spirit, body connection. Your health is your wealth. This is about making sure that you can get 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of play, 8 hours of work, so that you yourself can be operating at the optimum energy levels that you're supposed to. So I think that this king of this water king is going to be significant in some way. I also feel that this person might be of a different either educational background, religious background, racial background. This person, like I said, this could even be two males and or two females, whomever's going to take the role of the male. And the reason why I say this, I have the Temperance card, Sagittarius. Sagittarius is about accepting, it's about having the grace or the understanding to accept people for quote unquote who they are. It also represents foreigners. It represents the internet. It represents higher education. It represents astrology, philosophy, faith, religion. It speaks about the masses. So this could be that teacher aspect or that guru aspect. Even here with the Hermit, what is the Hermit if not a teacher and a scholar? He has to learn things for himself, and then he is supposed to come out and tell others, you know, I'm lighting the way for you. This is not only so I can see my way through the dark, this is also the way you can see, you know, I can help you find your way through the dark. So I feel that this because he is attached to these energies here, that this person has not presented themselves yet. I also feel that when the person presents themselves, I think it will be this sudden attraction. I think it will be this sudden kind of, we have coins and wands in the pages. And what do pages do? Pages bring news, but pages are also students. And so this could be two different ways of communicating, two different types of messages. It could be a message that comes in that fires up somebody, because the coins represent the physicality, the actual doing of something. The wands represent not only work, but also ambition and fire and passion here. So it almost reads as though there's somebody who will be presenting themselves who perhaps may have a different view on things, perhaps different than what you are used to, may look completely different, just may be a completely different person. You may have a bit of confusion about who the person is or where the person is coming from, okay? And but yet they come with an important message. I want to see what's under the bottom of the deck. We have the Five of Swords. Now this is the overall energy. This is not the ending of the spread. In one respect, that card is telling me, kind of, sort of, that this may already be somebody that you've had contact with, or that you know, and that for whatever reason things didn't go the way they were supposed to. It is the Five of Swords. Miscommunications, fights and arguments, differences of opinion, differences of belief. Perhaps there was a bunch of nervousness around this particular situation here. Sometimes the Five of Swords will show up when it says that something that you have lost or you thought you have lost may be returned to you, okay? Or stolen. Something you thought was lost or stolen will be returned to you. This is the overall energy. Fives always speak to some kind of outside influences coming in to change a situation, destabilizing. And sometimes it represents that energy of saying things perhaps that you can't take back, okay? But that card can also be about being able to stand in your own truth and not allowing other people's opinions and beliefs to dictate what your goal is or what your vision is. All right? So it almost reads as though either you're going to hear from somebody after a time frame of reflection and rest and balance. Okay, this is the balance of not allowing your emotions to dictate you more than your logic, and not allowing your logic to dictate more to you than your emotions, but finding that particular balance. And then that moment of reflection, having to take a step back and removing yourself from a situation. And what's interesting about this card is it is the Jupiter in Libra. We just had that cycle all of 2017. And Jupiter in Libra brings about divorces, separations, breakups, bankruptcies, separations of friends and family. But that all occurs so that there are other opportunities to come in, and you have to have the discernment of whether or not those other opportunities, you're going to be being presented with a bunch of opportunities, but trying to find the discernment of which of those opportunities really is going to be within your best interest. It is also about removing yourself from a particular situation. Now what's interesting is the overall energy is the Five of Swords. Then we have this Four, but here's the Queen holding that one sword. So that sword that we lost from the Five to the Four, this Queen is holding it. This is in effect like the Ace of Swords or the Justice sword, okay? The sword of truth, right consequences, balance. Now, I only have 2 pip cards here. And that is, I only have 1 pip card actually, which is the Four of Swords. I have 4 court cards here. I have the Queen of Swords, the King of Cups, the Page of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands. So this can say that there have been a lot of people involved in this. There's been a group of people involved in this. This could be about children. This could be about the way 2 people communicate with each other. It can mean a lot of things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at this Four of Swords, touching upon, it's the only card I can look at. The Four of Swords touching upon the Hermit, the World card, the Temperance, and the Moon card. There are 4 major arcana cards here, and in one respect it says that it's a situation in which, even though you may not know what's coming, even though you don't know how this is going to play out, even though you may not be sure what this person may want, you still have some kind of control over it. I would caution that with the full moon, particularly with the eclipse, as I was saying to you, to take that step back before making any decision, because it could be something that you are completely unaware of. And you may be required to, you're going to be required to really give some careful thought and weight to this, okay? Here with the Hermit and the Page of Wands, this is almost saying in one respect that if you felt alone, if you felt isolated, you're going to get another opportunity to reconcile or combine. Okay, that's the recombination card. So this could be simply the idea, the context that maybe you get a chance to apologize, or somebody's going to apologize, or you can apologize, and you can write whatever this Five of Swords was. Now, what does that mean? I don't see any cups here. Okay, except for the Temperance card. Here is this one King of Cups. But sometimes the King of Cups showing up with the Moon card can be speaking about somebody who has hidden addictions. So again, you're being asked to balance out your emotions and your logic. Now, let me take a look at this Four of Swords here next to, oh my God, did I just close that out? I did. I didn't mean to. Hold on. It'll pull it back up. The Four of Swords next to either of these cards here. Now, the Four of Swords with 3 or more court cards indicates that there are some misunderstandings and difficulties with current relationships. Remember, I was just saying that, right? It's a lot of people could be involved in this. It is a message to proceed, not to proceed with any new ventures or relationships unless you feel absolutely secure. It is most important to check the fine details before proceeding, as there is a possibility of difficulties arising. The Scholar. And doing the thing that's going to be best for you. Now, isn't that something? I don't see it telling me that there's anything else that's here. So let me go to these particular pages here. I'm going to look first at the Page of Pentacles. One reading says 2 pages together in a reading may be indicating a short-term illness. Maybe someone has been ill. They have been confined in some way, or they've had to isolate themselves in some way due to some kind of illness that, you know, they've had to take a time out. Maybe they've been sick or something. That's all that these cards are telling me. They're not telling me anything else. You know, again, with many court cards, that, you know, it indicates that there are many people involved in a situation. Let me pull Sibila's on this, because I'm not exactly sure what it is that I'm seeing. Hold on, there's something else I want to check right quick. No. Let's go to the if I had to pick the 2 most troublesome cards, it would be the Moon card and the Four of Swords. And not that the Four of Swords itself is a bad card, and not that the Moon itself is a bad card. You know, sometimes we do need to take a break. Sometimes we do need to disappear off the scene. We need to keep ourselves to ourselves until we can figure out really where we are and where we're going. Denari, Superbia, and the Dispiacere. Now, 2 things are coming about this. One of these could be the idea or the concept, because I have Denari. Denari speaks to money or finances or security, right? What do? You lock things away that you don't want to be taken or stolen, right? But here we have the Superbia card, and the Superbia card is the card of vanity and haughtiness, and perhaps even capriciousness or arrogance. And then we have the dispiacere. Now, and that's the card of the worries, anxiety, and the tears. So it could be that there's some hidden aspect here, perhaps of either a self-esteem issue or some kind of psychological issue. What I don't understand, however, is the superbia, or someone who wants to lord over the fact that maybe they don't have as much money, or remember, we're talking about somebody who's going to be different in some way, or are worried about that. Maybe it affects their pride, their self-esteem. Okay. The Consolante Sorpresa has presented itself. This is the card of consolation or surprise. You know, because the truth of the matter is, you know, you can have lots of money but still not be feel that you are happy, that the things are, you know, you can't hug a bunch of money. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it can help you to be a bit happier, right? Because it makes things a bit easier. The Bambino, something new. Now this is a pivotal card because of where it falls here. And the Ammalato. Wow, remember we were talking, so there might be some kind of illness. But it almost reads to me as though something else came in. It was a consolation. It wasn't something that either I expected or that I really wanted. It was a new thing, but as I said, ultimately it did not provide the joy or the happiness that I expected it to. Now, let me look at this Hermit card, because he... sometimes that can just be the you know, with the page, the Hermit with the page, it's some kind of information or news or study or something being learned, something, I think, trying to be integrated. Okay, that's what I'm getting, some kind of spiritual lesson, but that it's playing out as well in terms of a group of people. The La Nemica, the woman who acts in secret, or the rival, or the female enemy. The trip or the visit. And the Stanza card, the card of communication, but there's nobody there. I feel, in one respect, this could be, I'm just going to say could be, it could be that this is a situation where there was a meeting of someone in a relationship. There were other things involved, perhaps family, perhaps friend, perhaps finances, perhaps, you know, whatever the case may be, that this can sometimes be the energy of two people having separate goals, right? And having to go their own way because their goals don't match. But remember, we're looking at that what you thought was lost. This could be the idea that two people split. Whatever this relationship is, it didn't quite work out. The person maybe have returned to an old ex or another female, that rival person. They returned. That's why you have not heard anything else about them. But it looks in one respect as though someone is coming to the realization that what was in the past is in the past. It can't be I've tried it. I've tried balancing this out and it just doesn't work for me. Okay, that's what I'm getting. And so remember when I was saying you might get that opportunity to rectify this situation, recombination, reconciliation. Reconciliation doesn't always mean you're going to get back together, but it means that anything that has separated the two of you, if there were harsh words spoken, you might get the opportunity to rectify that situation. I'm going to take a look at this King of Cups here. And so now what the Moon card is telling me is that, again, this idea or this situation that it's hard to the Yardro, the Belvedere, and the letter. Well, someone who the thief is just that, something stolen. I don't know if this is emotions, I don't know if this is time, I don't know if this is finances. It could be a combination of all three. I always say to you, people don't have to come in and just steal your car and your stereo and your jewelry. They can steal all kinds of things from you, right? The Belvedere, foresight and planning, someone who is looking ahead due to some negative change coming in. And the letter, the message. Now, I don't know if this is saying that some of you may be looking for a message to come in, or if this is telling me to be on the lookout for news coming due to this negative change. That's why I said to you at the beginning, it reads as though someone is on the way, okay? And it might be somebody that you have already had some type of relationship. This could be a business partner, okay? I don't know. That requires a personal reading to look at your personal situation. There are definitely some kind of financial issues. There's something about the situation that I think has been a mystery as to what really happened. And that reconciliation could just be you getting the answers that you've been, you know, if you've been wondering about them, maybe you're getting the answers, okay? So, formulate one question, angel answer. God, I hate my email. It's just like, ah! Okay. It's up to you. Now that's an interesting card. That's a very, very interesting card. Let's see what it says. That's quite interesting. The end result of the situation you asked about is entirely in your hands. You can affect the outcome by taking a proactive approach to solving any challenges. Stand in your own power and have confidence that you have what it takes to bring about a happy ending. Don't wait for someone else to rush in and take charge. In order to come to a successful conclusion, the situation requires your unique perspective and experience. Now, I'm not exactly sure. As I said, it almost reads as though you're going to get a second opportunity at this. But if this occurs, you need to be the one to make sure that you are in control of whatever it is you're trying to do and not allow anybody else to kind of come in and throw you off. So whether or not this person who comes back sticks around or comes back to you because they have a problem, they may just simply come back because they have an issue, and maybe they value your what do you call it? Your advice, your thoughts, your particular whatever it is that you have, skills, resource, whatever the case may be. Do not lose sight of the fact that you have control over those things. Okay? And so that's the message for you. I hope that they helped. Don't forget, you can, you can click on the eye right there and go over. And I promise you, you guys, for those of you who are considering a membership, if you don't like, you can purchase the 7-day. If you don't like it after 30 days, the $7 membership, it's 30 days for $7. If you don't like it, you don't have to join again. Okay? Still doesn't mean that you won't get to take advantage of some stuff for 30 days. So until next time, namaste.